Starlink's goal is to provide excellent internet service to everywhere in the world that doesn't already have excellent internet service. Is it possible Starlink can destroy internet providers? Delivering the internet via satellite is so much more efficient than by wire because the signal travels 47% faster as a wave through the vacuum of space than it does traveling along a fiber optic cable. Fiber optic internet will remain faster over short distances, but over longer ranges, there will be no comparison. This means that they triangulate data much faster with minimal delay, but also means that their coverage area is smaller. So we need to load more of them to build up a comprehensive network that offers reliable global coverage. The enormous benefits of global internet coverage are undoubtedly going to outweigh the cost to astronomers, so it's unlikely that Musk is even a little bit worried about these so-called advocates interfering with his plans. Not to mention speed up their ever-increasing rate of development within the aerospace technology sector. While people tend to think of space as a large place with infinite room to move around, near-Earth geosynchronous SATCOM positioning is quite a crowded region already. Inserting thousands of new satellites willy-nilly into it without coordinating orbital spacing vectors with no ready and the necessary international authorities would be like flushing thousands of new motorbikes onto the LA freeway at rush hour. Settlement with 1,000 people. No ESP wants to touch that. So right now, Starlink works quite well, providing you live within maybe 100 miles of a ground station. The intent is to first get 12,000 satellites into orbit, and then to grow that to between 30,000 and 42,000 satellites. The first generation of satellites work by you sending data to the nearest available satellite via a small dish. The satellite then forwards that message to the nearest of several hundred Starlink ground stations that are scattered around the world, which send your request off into the regular internet. When the response comes back, it arrives at that same ground station, which sends the results up to whichever satellite is now closest to you, and the satellite forwards it down to your dish. This is okay as far as it goes, but the whole business of meeting, eventually, thousands of ground stations would be insane. So far, they have about 2,000 satellites in orbit, which is working fairly well for some parts of the world. So New York, for example, will be limited in the maximum number of connections you can get. I suspect that Starlink will be priced accordingly. In urban areas, referring the pricing of normal ISPs, high pricing in urban areas where demand is high and lower pricing in rural areas where demand is low. In urban areas, fiber, cable, LTE will still be cheaper, but in rural areas, Starlink becomes really compelling as it reduces the infrastructure cost significantly. Elon Musk said he's just trying to grab a small percentage of $1 trillion a year telecommunications industry around the world. If SpaceX can pull this off, the company could net about $30 to $50 billion a year. Musk and SpaceX President Gwen Shotwell say that much money could single-handedly fund the development of Starlink, Starship, and SpaceX's Mars launch infrastructure. As of early October, SpaceX has launched more than 700 satellites into orbit, with a plan to release a total of 12,000 over the next 5 years, and half of them by the end of 2024. Musk wants to add another 30,000 to that, coming to a total of 42,000 satellites circling Earth. All of these satellites will also be much closer, anywhere from 200 to 400 miles above the planet in low Earth orbit. This reduces the connection delay that is found with traditional internet satellite. Once in orbit, these Starlink satellites will be constantly on the move, which is why so many are necessary. Musk says these terminals look like small to medium-sized pizzas, leading to them being simply known as pizza boxes. Each pizza box is estimated to cost anywhere from between $100 to $300. But that's not being commented officially, and it will probably be included in the monthly rental fee anyway. As for that all-important monthly fee, again, there have been no official numbers released. However, the president of SpaceX said during an interview, "Is anybody paying less than $80 a month for crappy service? No, that's why we're gonna be successful." This has pointed many towards thinking that the service will cost around $80, and maybe even a little less. Comparatively, a 12 to 100 megabit per second internet plan from Viasat costs between $30 and $150 per month. And a 25 megabit plan from HughesNet ranges from around $60 to $150 per month, $80 per month for Starlink with internet speeds potentially reaching 1 gigabit per second sounds rather competitive to me. Most of us tend to think of all satellites as being these great big pieces of engineering, with two giant solar panels sticking out to either end styling. Satellites are in fact relatively small. They weigh 500 pounds or around the same size as a tabletop and feature just one solar panel.